In the world of perfumery, there are a lot of well-based houses. There are big houses, big niche houses, and one of them is Creed. I never was a big fan of Creed, and I still am not a big fan of this house, but not because of their compositions, but mainly because of their false history. You already know, if you are a perfume lover, you know all the stories about the House of Creed, with their false history, with them associating to long-dead famous people and whatnot. But I do not judge a house due to these things. I judge them only by their compositions. Therefore, in today's video, I'm gonna rate my Creed fragrances. There are 10 fragrances, therefore you can call this video a top 10 Creed fragrances. There is a very important honorable mention, and the only reason for which is an honorable mention is because I don't have the bottle right now. And that honorable mention is actually my all-time favorite Creed fragrance, which I do not have it at this moment in my collection, and it's called Royal Mayfair. I simply love that fragrance. I think that it's one of the most underrated fragrances from this house, just like many others that are featured in this video, but that's the only honorable mention. Therefore, let's start with number 10. And this is actually a great fragrance, especially if you love lemon. This has to be the most beautiful, the most natural, the most realistic lemon note that I ever sniffed. And this comes from the Acqua Originale collection and is called Citrus Bigade. This is simply fantastic for summertime, for high heat. This is amazing for holiday. This is great for office, for smaller environments. You're only going to get lemon, but a very, very real lemon for that matter. In terms of performance, it isn't the greatest performer from the House of Creed, but it isn't the weakest either. I usually get about 6 hours of longevity with this one, with good projection in the first 2 hours. Afterwards, it becomes a skin scent. But this is unisex, ladies can wear it also, and overall, as a Creed, I actually enjoy this one, but as I said, especially during summertime. That's when it works its best. So my number 10 spot is Creed Citrus Bigade. My number 9, and again, I love wearing this one, especially throughout summertime. I have nothing to complain about when it comes to the performance of this fragrance. And yeah, believe it or not, this is actually an F batch code. Yes. The new legend, urban legend nowadays, is that all F batches are the worst Creeds ever created. I beg to contradict you. Creed Silver Mountain Water. I love the iris in this one. It's very mild. Also, you have a very beautiful aquatic feeling. You actually feel like you are sitting in the summertime near a river in the mountains. This is the exact feeling that I get with this fragrance. Just like with GaVo, Mephisto Gentiluomo, or the original Mephisto, that are very, very similar to Creed Silver Mountain Water, but better performing, I would say, at least in terms of projection. In terms of longevity, with this one, I usually get about 10 hours on my skin. In terms of projection, I get about 2 to 3 hours of good projection with Silver Mountain Water. Afterwards, it sits closer to the skin. But still, for office environments, for hot weather, for holiday season, this is actually a great scent. And with all Creeds, I love the quality of the ingredients featured inside this one. Yeah, but still, number 9. On the number 8 spot comes the breath of fresh air, or mountain air, and this is Himalaya. Love this scent. It's a beautiful scent. Again, great for hot weather, incredibly good for office, very masculine, very high quality ingredients, and also good performance. I have no issues with Himalaya. Actually, in terms of projection, this is better than Creed Silver Mountain Water, at least on my skin. I don't know on other people's skin what happens, but on my skin, this projects way better than Silver Mountain Water. In terms of longevity, I usually get about the same 10 hours of longevity, just like with the Silver Mountain Water. So, on the number 8 spot in this list, Creed Himalaya. I simply love it because it's quite icy. It's very refreshing. You get those beautiful green accords inside. You have that piney feeling. And this actually portrays a mountain scenery, at least for me. So if you like versatility in your fragrances, I highly encourage you to give it a try if you didn't already. Number 7 in this list is a very acclaimed fragrance. I actually don't get it why, but this is, for me at least, this is a hybrid fragrance. What I mean by this is that the House of Creed took 3 already known recipes and created this fragrance. It's called Erolfa. What do I mean by the fact that it's a hybrid Creed? Well, this one basically smells like green Irish Tweed combined with Himalaya combined with Millesine Imperial. This is what Erolfa is actually for me. It smells great, very beautiful lime note inside with nutmeg flower, with ambergris, with sandalwood. This one actually features melon, not like Millesine Imperial. You also have some sea accords, but they aren't very important. Also, you have some vetiver, some patchouli, and that's pretty much the whole composition of Erolfa. Very uplifting scent, very refreshing again. But in this case, Erolfa isn't the best performer, in my honest opinion. I was expecting a lot more coming from the House of Creed and from such a highly acclaimed fragrance in the community, from all the brand ambassadors out there. But what can I say? It doesn't disappoint me. Very good again for office environments, very good again for hot summer days, for holidays. Actually, this is a great summer night scent, if you're asking me. Erolfa is my number 7 spot. My number 6 spot is actually the king of this house, the one and only, not Aventus, green Irish Tweed. Green and masculine. That's it. Very, very green and masculine. You also have violet, you have lemon verbena, you have ambergris, you have all the specific, let's say, backbone of all Creed fragrances, which is actually ambergris and sandalwood. Very good performance with green Irish Tweed. I usually get about 12 hours of longevity on my skin, with very good projection for the first 3 to 4 hours. Afterwards, about 2 hours of moderate projection, and then it gets closer to the skin. Very versatile, very elegant, but the main drawback to this one, I would say that it is its greenness. And that's why this is better to be worn in spring and fall. But you can also wear it in wintertime, also throughout summertime. I had no issues. Doesn't really matter what season I'm in. If I want to wear it, I wear it, because this is a very beautiful masculine scent. Green Irish Tweed, number 6. My number 5 spot in this list, Millesine Imperial. Yeah, a lot of people complain about this fragrance, that it has a very, very terrible performance. I wouldn't say it is the greatest, but in my honest opinion, it isn't the worst either. On me, this fragrance stays for about 6 to 7 hours. Don't get me wrong, it isn't nuclear stuff. It isn't something out of the ordinary. It projects really good for the first 1.5 hours, then it has a moderate projection for about 1 hour, and then it becomes a skin scent. But for what it is, this is quite good. I wouldn't say this is the worst Creed I sniffed and wore throughout my life, but it isn't the best either. Still, this is a very uplifting, refreshing, clean scent. I don't get the salty melon that everyone is getting with this one. There is no melon featured in Millesine Imperial. What I get is a lot of musks combined with some, let's say, sea accords. I wouldn't say it's sea salt. I would actually say it's a bit more of seaweed, if you want. And the general feeling is of a breeze near the sea, on the beach. Simplistic, but efficient, and with acceptable performance. Number 5, Creed Millesine Imperial. Number 4, the unofficial king of the house, or whatever you want to call it. Yes, Aventus. Aventus was a fragrance that disrupted the market when it came, but it's a great fragrance. I have no issues with the fragrance itself. I love the quality of the ingredients. I love the pineapple inside. I also love the birch that's in the composition. Performance-wise, I get about 7 to 8 hours on my skin, with very good projection for the first 2 hours. This is a very versatile fragrance. You can wear it whenever you want, however you want. It's a great fragrance. But is it worth the hype? Not really. And this is basically, let's say, the reason for which I kind of hated Aventus in the first place, due to the artificial hype. There are better fragrances out there on the market. If you love this kind of interpretation, this type of recipe, if you love pineapple, for example, one of them being the well-known Hachivat from the house of Nishane. But this is a totally different fragrance compared to Aventus. More on this on a different occasion. But for what it is, Aventus is a great scent. I don't dislike it, I don't hate it, I just hated the artificial hype that it got for no real reason, actually. Nonetheless, a very beautiful, very uplifting, very manly, very refreshing perfume. Number 3 in this list, Tabar Millésime, the so-called preferred fragrance of Winston Churchill. This is a lie. Winston Churchill didn't wear Tabaron. It's all about marketing people. But this is a very interesting, very unique interpretation of tobacco. This is a green leaf tobacco combined with citruses, especially with lime in this case, but also with some very effervescent ginger. You also get some patchouli, you also get some sandalwood, you also get some ambergris, of course, because this is a creed. And this is pretty much what Tabaron is all about. You won't smell like a cigar, you won't smell like a cigarette, you won't smell smoky or smoked by cigars. This is a very refreshing, uplifting take on the tobacco leaf, green tobacco leaf. Performance-wise, this is a good scent. I wouldn't say again that this is a great scent. Depends on the standards that everyone has. If you love very long-lasting, very powerful projecting fragrances, then the House of Creed isn't for you. You need to go to Amouage. You need to go to Sospiro. I don't know, Zhezhov. You need to go to different houses if you're looking for this. I don't know, Panadora, Orto Parisi, Masomato. It isn't the case with the House of Creed. And this is why basically I don't dislike entirely this house. Because what they do it great. And I would say they are actually masters of fresh fragrances. Tabar Millésime is no exception from this rule. In terms of performance, longevity-wise, I get about 7 hours of longevity with Tabar Millésime. Projection-wise, I would say it's moderate overall. Masculine, uplifting, invigorating, very high-quality ingredients. You can actually feel the difference compared to other tobacco scents out there on the market. But do not believe for a second that this is something heavy. No, this is refreshing. My number 2 spot in this list. My number 2 spot in this list comes in the form of Bois de Portugal. This could have easily been my number 1 spot. Incredible fragrance. Again, very high quality, very beautiful lavender fragrance with some very interesting citruses inside, and also with very, very good performance. Just like the number 1 spot in this list. This is very masculine, this is very elegant, this is very versatile. You can wear it dressed up, dressed down. This is a beautiful scent, no matter the season. You can wear it in warmer seasons, cooler seasons. It simply works. This is how good Bois de Portugal is. Again, not the most original fragrance from the House of Creed, because this is actually inspired by a very old fragrance from the House of Penhaligon's called Duro Bois de Portugal. But I can forgive it because it has its own twist and because it's really, really nice. So if you're looking for a gentleman's perfume, this might be the one for you. Bois de Portugal from Creed is my number 2 spot in this list. And my number 1, and unfortunately my bottle is almost empty, but yeah, I'm gonna buy a new one, this time bigger. This is all that's left from my bottle of what I consider to be the most underrated fragrance from the House of Creed. And be very careful. Compared to all the others that I've mentioned in this list, this is actually the one that performs the best in terms of longevity, but especially in terms of projection and sillage. And this is none other than Royal Water. I simply love this fragrance. I love it with a passion. Very uplifting, very bright, very clean, very fizzy at the same time, and very long lasting. I usually get with this one at least 12 hours on my skin, and with very, very good projection for the first 3 to 4 hours, then moderate projection for about 3 hours, and only afterwards it becomes a skin scent, but not sooner. It's very simplistic. You have lime, you have ambergris, you have bergamot in this one. This is pretty much all that you're going to get with this fragrance. Very simple, very, very good at the same time. That's why this is my favorite out of these fragrances that I've shown in this video. This is the one that I prefer the most. This is the most versatile, in my opinion. And with this one, you actually get what you pay for. You get high quality, but you also get very good performance. Or at least in my case. Because again, I have to mention that everything that I say is based on my experience with the product. But Royal Water is my number one in this list. And as I said in the beginning of this video, my honorable mention is actually my all-time favorite fragrance from the House of Creed, and that one is Royal Mayfair. So these are my 10 fragrances from the House of Creed that I currently have in my collection. This is my top 10, let's call it like this. Although I really hate this type of content with top 10s and whatnot. This is my rating. Of course, you may have a different opinion. Your order might be different than mine, but as always, we are different people. We are unique individuals. We have unique preferences, and I always talk from my experience. As always, my friends, be very careful. Do not go ahead and purchase this type of fragrances without knowing them, without testing them. Don't blind buy them because they're very expensive. Creed actually is one of the most, let's say, expensive commercial niche houses out there. And not always the price that you pay is actually reflected in the overall package of the perfume that you acquire from this house. So better go and buy samples or decants, smaller quantities, test them on your skin, wear them, draw some conclusions, and only afterwards decide if it's worth paying or not the full price. I'm going to stop here. As always, thank you for watching. Hopefully, I'm going to catch you in the next one. Be safe, be good. Peace.